what's your name?
Serena Santos.
And Serena, how long ago did you have the HPV Gardasil?
16 years ago. 17.
And what made you have it?
I was a child of the system, so I had no choice.
What does that mean?
I was in a lot of residential treatment facilities and stuff like that. I was a child of New York State, throughout the fostering system and all that, so I didn't have much choice.
So actually, that's so interesting because I'm hearing that you guys in that fostering system were guinea pigs for vaccines.
Absolutely.
Drugs.
Every time that we would go to a new facility, because your insurance would run out and they would send you to the next place. And every time we would go to a new one, they claimed they didn't have our vaccine records and would revaccinate us again.
And there's nothing you can do about it?
Not a thing. If you say no, they will hold you down and do it. You don't have any say at all in the system.
That's barbaric.
It is absolutely barbaric.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Thank you.
So you're in the system and it's Gardasil time.
Mm-hmm.
And did they tell you why it's important to have such a thing?
Just take this. I was not told any risks, nothing.
Or benefits?
Nope. Didn't even know what it was until I was an adult and I did my research learning that I was vaccine injured.
So you took three rounds?
As a child of the system, I'm assuming more.
Oh, okay, so tell us what happened. What was the injuries like?
So I wasn't even diagnosed. It took years to get diagnosed. I was in a facility and my arm was broken. And that day in the hospital, I mentioned a burning sensation in my arm. And it was ignored as a child of the system. And when I was 21 years old, I was finally diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome. And they told me without a doubt it came from that period. Because when I broke my arm, it comes from an injury. But later on, when I was a part of the chronic pain community, one of my fellow warriors shared a study about complex regional pain syndrome following Gardasil vaccination. And that is when I realized I was injured.
So what does a day look like for you now dealing with this injury? What's it taken from you?
I have recovered a lot of it since. I was at one point in a wheelchair, legally blind, and on 26 medications a day. Yeah.
And who was looking after you as someone as board of state? Who was looking after you?
At that time, this didn't happen. My medication and my treatment didn't start until I was 21.
So then, what happens at 21 in the foster system? You're just thrown out.
Well, I was out of the system at 17 when I was emancipated, and I just wasn't diagnosed because nobody would take me seriously. I would go to doctor after doctor saying my arm is on fire, it hurts, I can't touch it, and I went through this from the age of 14 until I was 21 when one doctor finally took me seriously and was like, I think you have complex regional pain syndrome. So they sent me for another doctor to confirm the diagnosis, and I was diagnosed on the spot. And upon diagnosis, I started treatment, and within that year, my first year of treatment, I underwent 12 surgeries and procedures, nearly killing me and leaving me in a wheelchair and legally blind until I was finally done with the system and I stopped everything and I slowly started to recover on my own.
So how do you recover from something so far down?
It would look different for everyone. For me, my first step was I got off of the medication because that was a lot of medication and everything was interacting with everything. After I took myself off of medication, I switched to herbal remedies instead, and I focused on healing my gut and healing all the internal stuff, the inflammation, the haywire brain signals, which is what complex regional pain syndrome is, and that is what I focused on. And within 2 weeks of stopping all the medications that they had me on over the years, I was able to walk again. For the first time in my life, basically, my older, adolescence to adulthood, I was pain-free. And I remain in a remission, and that I went on that journey in 2019 is when I finally said no more to the medications.
Do you have children?
I do not.
But you have
I do have a husband.
a husband.
I do.
Thank you for being a good husband, taking care of her.
Yes.
I'm so pleased you found. I still feel really terrible that. I don't know what do we do to help these foster kids? We have to help them.
It's so hard.
It seems like the worst kind of abuse that you can.
It is that the system is the absolute worst. Personally, in my own experience, the last facility I was in, it was shut down for sex trafficking.
Really?
Yeah, they were shut down for sex trafficking. And another facility I was in, the one where I was vaccine injured, they broke my arm in the facility, they broke another child's leg and killed a child in there. And they continued to run, and they still are there today.
Why did they break someone's arm?
They were not properly trained in restraining. They were just a very horrible place, I guess you could say.
How old are the kids
in that facility? They were all teenagers. I think the youngest girl, if I remember correctly, was about 10 or 11, and she was my roommate at the time. And the oldest was, if I'm not mistaken, like 17.
I think it just breaks my heart.
Yeah. And it's just crazy. That one facility, they broke my arm, they broke another child's leg, and the one child that they killed, they were holding him down, restraining him, and he started seizing, and they thought he was lying, and he died while I was there.
And nobody cares?
No. Anytime that anybody tries to speak up on it, including staff, I witnessed it myself, they fire them. They get fired and they run them through the works, and there's no way to speak up, really. It's so hard, and especially because these facilities were in New York State, and they don't care at all.
So you've got, I don't know how many people are in a home or whatever.
It really depends on the facility. Some of them will have like different buildings. The first place I was in, where my injury occurred, there were like 5 different buildings, and each building had about 30 or 40 kids.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
And so what happens on vaccination day? Doctor comes in and you all line up?
No, not even. You don't get a doctor. It is, I remember mine were nurses. The nurses that gave us, that would dope us up on medication every day, would also give us our vaccinations.
So you had to take medication?
You had no choice. If you did not take it, it was injected into you forcefully.
Why?
It's how they make their money.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. This is just awful.
Yeah.
Well, at least you've got a lovely husband.
I do.
And you've got a nice life ahead. And
I do.
When you have kids, you ever going to vaccinate them?
Absolutely not.
No, hell no.
I don't even vaccinate my dog.
No, good for you.
No. She is, even my dog is 100% natural. She eats better than most humans.
Well, if you come up with any bright ideas of how we can help these foster kids, we have to help them.
We do.
They are children. We are children's health defence.
Right.
We have to help them.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's really upsetting, your story. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're feeling better, though.
Thank you.
And like I say, people you can't see him, but she's got a lovely husband sitting behind her.
Yes.
She's going to be loved for the rest of her life, which is important. You deserve it.
He deserves to be recognized because we vowed in marriage while I was still sick. He said in sickness and health, and we never thought we would see health in me. And he supported me day in and day out. He took care of me, worked 2-3 jobs at a time to cover my medical bills. He is my life.
He's wonderful.
He is.
And you so deserve to have someone good in your life.
Thank you.
And know what real love is.
Yes.
Yes.